35. No more than 45.
Welcome to Houston County Legislative Body Meeting, November 16th, 2015. Sponsored by Ace Hardware, Signature Healthcare of Aaron, Houston County Drug Alliance, and Traditions First Bank in Aaron and Dixon. We are WCB and home of our sports.
Christmas, I guess,
It's a good call. Always a good call. I don't know what they were now.
I'm proud to see that. You rubbed it over.
Because I just punched it.
Huh?
Just because I just punched it.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't she look abused?
She looks abused.
Cover up so they can't hear it. Turn the fan on so the microphones can't get nothing.
Hey, what are you going to do here? But it looks good.
Not my church.
Mr. Harden, would you lead us in prayer, please?
Our Father, we come before thee this evening. We come again with thanksgiving for the blessing of another day and the wonderful community in which we live. Father, we're also mindful of the tragedy that's taken place in Paris and France. We ask our blessing for those people that are suffering. But especially at this time, we come before thee asking for our community, thankful for these men and women that will serve. We ask thy guidance in the things they do for the betterment of our people. This we pray in Christ's name. Amen.
Meeting come to order. Roll call, Mr. Brown.
William Agee. George Jerem. Here. Randall French. Here. Steve Hall. Here. Ray Elliott. Here. Martha Greenfield. Here. Darrell Kingsley. Here. Howard Spurgeon. Here. Leslie Lewis. Chris Self. Here. Joey Brake. Here. James Fazell. Here. Brant Lamassus. Here. Larry Sykes. Here. 13 members present.
We do have a quorum. You have a copy of your agenda for tonight. If no additions, I'd like a motion to approve the agenda. Motion is made. Is there a second? And second, any discussion? Not all in favor? Opposed? Motion does carry. You have minutes from your previous meeting. I'd like a motion to approve the minutes. Motion is made. Is there a second? And second, any discussion? If not, all in favor? Opposed? Motion does carry. Under old business, you have two notaries. Both of them are renewals. One of them is Jackie Clark, the other one is Beth Smith.
Make a motion that we accept both the renewals.
Motion is made to accept the renewals. Is there a second? Second. And a second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor? Opposed? Motion does carry. Oh, I forgot. Usually I do this before we really get started, but I usually give you a rundown before each fund is. And I'm going to do that before we go on with these budgets. The general fund, $785,355. Highway, $494,400. General purpose schools, $4,528,000. Debt service, $1,215,000. And hospital, $645,859. That's our major funds. Of course, it changes every day as money comes in and money goes out. Next, under your agenda, you have Health Department agreement. This is the agreement that we have with the Health Department each year. Contract that we have with them. I'd like a motion to approve the Health Department agreement. So motion is made. Is there a second? And second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor? Opposed? Motion does carry. Next, you have your BIS agreement. This is a agreement that's with Sharon Tomlinson, Circuit Court Clerk, that has to do with her account. She had this last year. It's a pretty standard agreement. Motion is made.
I didn't catch who it was.
Who made that?
Joey.
Is there a second?
Second.
And second, any discussion? If not, all in favor? Opposed? Motion does carry. Next, we have an interlocal agreement. This is an interlocal agreement between Houston County and the Emergency Communication District, or 911. This will allow them to get paid back approximately $260,000 in grant money up there for equipment that they will. I'd like a motion to approve this interlocal agreement. Motion is made and seconded. Any discussion? If not, all in favor? Opposed? Motion does carry. Next, you have your term of engagement with Dickerson Wright PLLC. I'd like a motion to approve this agreement. Motion is made. Is there a second?
Second.
And second, any discussion?
Yes. Okay, in taking a look at this agreement, and having been at the hospital board where he indicated that he was taking a 20 to 25% cut, but yet the fee in number 8 on the 3rd page still shows the retainer at $15,000. Should we not clarify that before we approve this?
I don't think so, Howard. Howard, you've been to 2 hospital board meetings, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
And you've been on the court for what, 1 year?
Sir,
How long have you been on the legislative body? 1 year?
year and a half.
This hospital, the hospital board's been operating for over approximately 2.5 years. We've gone through an awful lot, and we would never got anywhere close without the expertise of a healthcare attorney. And and the agreement that we have, we did not look at just one attorney when we went into this. We looked at several in the national. The fees were basically the same. We're hiring a person that is an expert in the healthcare field, and you're going to have to pay those fees. We've got on the line $800 and something thousand that we are supposed to get through electronic billing that we need to get with the expertise of this attorney. We're also dealing with a surgeon and it is a complicated contract to get that surgeon in here. And therefore, you've got to have people like him to do it. We have an excellent county attorney, Ms. Markley Gibb. I think she has told y'all many times that we need the expertise of this attorney because it's out of most attorneys' field. We have a complicated situation at the hospital. It's not an easy business. It's a business that's changing. We don't change it, but the federal government's changing it all the time. And you've got to have somebody that knows what's going on, not only here, but in Washington, D.C., and have the expertise and the know-how to talk to those people in Washington to get that done. Now, that's what this guy does. Now, I get granted, he tells us a lot of things that a lot of people don't want to hear. But that's what his job is. So tell you. But then it's up to the board and the commission to make some decisions. But that's why you need him, Howard. You need him because of his expertise in his field.
I'm not questioning.
Well, you're questioning what he's being paid, and he's told you this is what I'm going to, this is the same as he's been paid, except he's picking up, prior to this, he was probably giving us time above that $15,000. Because if you hire one of these attorneys out of Nashville, you pay them several $100s an hour to get any kind of expertise out of it. So, you know, you can go on and on, but I don't mind telling you, the hospital board and the hospital needs an expert in the health care, and that's what this guy is.
The 20% that Howard's referring to, or whatever, is based on original contracts and original prices that we had 2.5 to 3 years ago. So he was below the market at that point in time, and I think that's what he was referring to.
And if we went somewhere else, we'd have to pay the same. And this guy knows. He knows the undertakings of what we've done over the last 2.5 years. And I don't mind saying, guys, we started out with bricks and mortar. We started a totally new business. We did not buy Patient's Choice Medical Center. Everybody needs to know that. Houston County bought bricks. And from bricks, we have built a hospital. That means getting a new Medicare number, which is very, very hard to get. That means renegotiating every contract that was up there and still constantly looking at those contracts every year. And then dealing with the problems that the previous company had with possible lawsuits there. It was not easy, but we've come a long way. Now, is everything perfect? No. But ask yourself this. What are you going to tell your neighbors when one of them gets sick and possibly doesn't make it because you don't have a hospital? What's it going to do when your local industries, and I'm going to tell you, you can ask some of the people that run them, how important it is to have a hospital close by. It's very important for this county to to continue to grow. Continue to grow. And we've grown. Look around you. There's a lot of growth taking place in our county. And we'll continue to do that if we continue to do the right things. Don't go backwards. And you've got to have people like this with that expertise to make that happen. Do I like paying more taxes? I promise you I don't. But do I want health care for my family and my friends and the people that put me here? Yes, I do. And I want them to have the best that Houston County can provide for them. It's not perfect. We're a small rural hospital, but it saves lives. And so therefore, you got to do what we need, or I feel like we need to do what needs to be done. I don't get to vote. I wish I did. It wouldn't be, it's not, for me, I know what I would do. I'm for keeping health care in this community because I want people's lives to be saved. I don't ever want to look back and say, hey, because I didn't do what's right, my aunt, my uncle, my mother, my brother, my friend is not here. And that'll happen, guys. And this type person is helping us make that happen. He's already got us. George, how much money has he already got us? Gary.
How much money has he got?
Yeah.
$1.2 million or $4 million?
$1.2 million. Yeah, it's several, way over $1 million something. And it's because of his expertise. And we're looking at another 800 something thousand this year and another 3 or 4 maybe the next year. If we do the right things. But, y'all vote. It's up to you. But I'm just saying, the person that's been here from day one of trying to maintain and keep health care, this is the type of person that you got to have on board right now. Now, I think we all know that we will eventually want to wean this person. We all want to do that. But I can tell you, it's not the time when we're looking at an $800,000 grant to be given to us that this guy has the expertise to help us get, and we're also trying to bring a surgeon into our company, which is not, you just don't go out there and bring a surgeon in. It don't work that way. You've got to work with them and work with their contracts with them and everything else.
He paid for his fees by just the contract giving us to buy supplies cheaper. That saved us $120,000 right there, minimum, and potentially a lot more than that. So, he paid for his salary almost right in one thing like that.
Oh, and he's helped us in many other ways. It's not uncommon for us to have to deal, I forget her name, the lady that's over CMS in Washington, D.C. This gentleman can talk to that lady and get on the phone and talk to her because I've been on the phone with him. That's the type of person you need because CMS is not an easy group to deal with, I can tell you. And healthcare is not easy right now, especially in rural communities. I mean, Tennessee didn't take the $500 million that would have helped healthcare, helped rural hospitals. Our legislature has decided not to do that. That's monies that would have been coming to, or some of that money would have been coming to our local hospital. We didn't get it, so we've got to rough it through this period. Anyway,
I understand Tim Gary has been instrumental in purchasing the hospital and running it. Has the hospital board tried to negotiate with them any at all on this fee? Or we just take whatever he told
we
us?
tried to, we negotiated with them when we first did it. It wasn't as if,
I mean, we've been kind of going.
I could be wrong, but I was thinking there was even more money at the beginning, and we negotiated it down to where it's at now. So, yes, Jamie?
Get our attorney now, she was in a meeting the other day, and she knows Tim Gary, the lawyer, and she knows this company that we're talking about now. She knows what we have faced and what we are facing. I'd like her to sort of explain this thing a little bit. If you could, please.
Kind of fighting a headache, but at any rate, Dickinson and Wright is a well-recognized law firm, great credentials. Tim Gary has kind of mastered, what you got to understand is Tim Gary comes from a Blue Cross Blue Shield background. He is an attorney. He's worked in the healthcare. That's kind of his whole model. You know, attorneys, we're all licensed. We each have licenses. We pass the same bar exams, but there's certain attorneys like Tim who specialize in what he does. He's been in the Medicare field. He can go from here to Washington, all over the world talking to people. We couldn't have gotten our Medicare number if it hadn't been for Tim. We couldn't have reopened the hospital, I'm convinced, had it not been for Tim. Tim has kind of taken on the Houston.County Community Hospital as his baby or pilot project, if you will. If there's one thing I feel, and I know in talking to Tim and working with him, a project that he doesn't ever want to see fail is this hospital. I do agree with Mr. Spurgeon to really look at things because it is critical. But it's critical, and I agree with Mayor Clark, that this community try to keep the hospital too. Without the expertise that Tim Gary can bring to the table, we might as well just back up 3 years. We've come so far to give him now. I think we do need to monitor Tim. I think we need to use him as long as we need him, and then when we no longer need him, when we're a little bit more self-sustaining, look at weaning him off. But at this point, my recommendation weighs heavily with, you've got to keep Tim on board because he's got our suppliers, he's doing our contracts, he's attracting people, he's trying to get doctors here. If we quit in the middle of the stream, I really don't know who we could get to finish up or to keep us in forward motion where we are.
Randy?
Mark, I've got a couple of questions. On the contract, it's 12-month contract.
Correct.
In the contract, and I apologize, I don't come out of national or anything, but the only part that says about doing away or canceling the contract is in that back section. That, you know what I'm talking about, is if the county wants to get out of it, I don't think there's anything in the first part where we can cancel the contract. It is covered in this last 2 pages.
Correct.
And that applies to the contract. If something happens, we decide to get out of the contract.
I think that would apply to the contract. The only thing I looked so strongly at myself on the contract was the term of engagement. It may be shortening that, but I think you've also got to look at your fiscal year, and you've got to make sure you get through that.
Let me comment on that a little bit, because Mark and I did talk about that.
I don't think you want to try to limit him any more than that.
To get us through, yeah, okay.
There's nothing in there also, we talked about weaning down. There's nothing in there to lessen that 15 during the term of the contract, is there?
Not during the term, there's not,
No,
no.
there's not.
But the one thing, Randall, I did look at also is, okay, if you don't have Gary there to be able to negotiate with Blue Cross, with Medicare, with the federal government, and keep everything tracking the way it's been, then you start over. And then, essentially, you start over with someone who wasn't there day one when we were buying bricks and mortar.
Don't misunderstand anything I'm saying.
Yeah.
Tim's done a lot for us. I'm
Oh,
not really
yeah.
comfortable with the contract for the trip.
Here-
I personally like to see it referred back to the hospital committee and board to come back with this one annually, maybe a little more acceptable.
Well, the problem that we have is we are in the middle of negotiating with a surgeon. I'm going to tell you, and that's not an easy negotiation to deal with, and we need that.
Temporary agreement with him.
And well, here's the thing, Brandon. Mark and I talked a little bit about that. To get us to June 30th, we look at probably need what? How many months? 8? Okay. We all know budget, right when June 30th comes, it's a tough time trying to pass a budget. And we'll have to get the budget also passed for the hospital. So it's not easy. That is a tough period of time. So the 8 months just gets you through June the 30th. That's it. It doesn't get us through helping get a budget prepared and do what we've got to do on that. The 12 months will do it. I personally think after 12 months, we ought to be able to wean this guy. I believe that. I believe after 12 months more, we ought to be able to do it because that will get us through the $800-something thousand that we've got to get. And we're not going to get that until the very end of the fiscal year. That's when it come in. If I remember correctly, you guys on the board, that's pretty much when it come in last year. All right? So that gets us close. And then it also gets us through preparing another budget for next year. Then, you know, we need to, I personally think we really need to have a good, hard look at how much time we need this gentleman. But I'm going to tell you right now, you need it. I'm just, my opinion, who deals with it almost on a day-to-day basis. Joey?
I think the board, I think that's kind of what Randall was asking myself. I know that's what I'm asking. Nobody wants to kick him out right now in the midstream. We know, I mean, he's helped, but everybody they're looking at weaning him down. That's the question. I've asked that several times, and myself. And that's kind of what, I mean, everybody's wanting kind of on the same page on weaning him down. There may be some that doesn't, but, and he is smart. Don't get me wrong, he's helped us a lot, but
Well,
we need to look at that.
well, I think, Joey, and I think you're right. I think all of us want to wean away from that attorney fee as much as possible. There'll always be some attorney fees up there, don't get me wrong, because there's complicated things that come up. But for the period of time that we've got 8 months just to get to the end of the fiscal year to make sure we get the $800-something thousand. And then we still got to get a budget prepared because state controllers got really tough. I don't have to tell you guys, y'all been on the budget committee. It's not like it used to. We're going to have to work on the budget. It's going to have to be worked on probably in July and no later than August passed. So we're going to need people on board to get this done. Now, after that, hey, you know, I have no problem weaning somebody when you don't need them. I mean, that's money that we can put somewhere else. But you know, right now, I'm going to tell you, right now we need them. And we need them. We got a board meeting tomorrow, Wednesday. And we have no attorney. We need the hospital board needs an attorney to represent us in what we're doing. Because there is a lot of stuff that comes up at these meetings. And it's stuff that I'm not familiar with it, I can tell you. It's way above me. But that's why we hire an expertise to do it. You know, it's up to you, gentlemen. Y'all do what you want.
That's the same question again. Can we not staff the committee?
You can do it, but you're stopping what needs to. We've already, every time we keep coming to stumbling blocks. Instead of trying to make the hospital what it needs to be and make it move forward, we have people constantly wanting to stop it. It doesn't make sense because all of us need health care. You may not need it today, but I promise you, when you wake up in the morning, you may need it. That's life. That's the way it is. And by not moving on and taking the responsibility of what needs to be done, you're stopping the growth of what needs to take place. But y'all do what you want. Y'all make the decisions. But when you make them, you make it.
In the grand scheme of things, 12 months is nothing.
No.
In it'll be here before you know it, and then you're gonna renegotiate another contract, and at that point, you can, if it's going fine, then you can start doing your so-called weaning process. We will have this attorney, I hope, for a long time, because there's always things in the healthcare business that are complicated, and we don't have the expertise in this county to take care of it. Then the other thing is that I realize that $15,000 sounds like a lot of money, but if you lived in Davidson County or practically any county besides Houston County, $15,000 for an expert attorney like this is, you're not going to find much. You're going to pay a whole lot more than that. So, you know, we're getting a deal on this thing. You people have to realize that this is not the Monroe Doctrine we're in. We're not a closed society here. We have to deal with everybody in the United States and elsewhere. And that's where you have to meet whatever the prevailing wages and everything else is. And in this county, we're unique, but we have to deal with outside sources, and when you deal with outside sources, you have to pay.
I do have a motion.
I thought we already did that.
Yeah, I have a motion. Do I have a second? I have a second.
We have a second, didn't
Yeah, we have a second. Motion and a second. Roll call vote, guys.
William Agee.
we? Yeah.
George Jerem.
Yes.
Randall French.
Yes.
Steve Hall.
No.
Ray Elliott.
Yes.
Martha Greenfield.
Yes.
Darrell Kingsmill.
Yes.
Howard Spurgeon.
No.
Leslie Lewis.
No.
Chris Self.
No.
Joey Brake.
No.
James Pizzell.
Yes.
Brant Lamastus.
No.
Larry Sykes.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Motion passed. Next on the agenda, you have your Houston County Emergency Medical Services Guidelines. You have a copy of those guidelines. I'd like a motion. I think this has been to our ambulance committee twice. I'd like a motion to approve these guidelines for the Houston County Emergency Medical Guidelines.
I move we approve.
Motion is made. Is there a second? And second. Any discussion?
Is that Mr. Hall? Was that Steve, or who was that made? Jim, okay. Well, I lost it there, okay. All right.
Any discussion? If not, roll call vote.
William Agee. George Jerem.
Yes.
Randall French.
No.
Steve Hall.
Yes.
Ray Elliott.
Yes.
Martha Greenfield.
No.
Darrell Kingsmill.
Pass.
Pardon?
Pass.
I'm sorry.
Pass.
Passed. Howard Spurgeon.
No.
Leslie Lewis.
No.
Chris Self.
No.
Joey Brake. James Pizzell.
Yes.
Brant Lamastus.
No.
Larry Sykes.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Motion's failed. Next under you have debt obligation report. I'd like a motion to approve the debt obligation report. Motion is made and seconded to place this on our books. Is there any discussion? If not, all in favor? Opposed? Motion does carry. Next, your beer board recommendation on selling the beer on Sunday. Ray, you're the chairman of that board.
The beer board met in the session, and they have recommended that we extend or sell the beer on Sunday from 12 to 10, which is the normal hours now for packaged beer to go. The only change would be to have it for on-premises consumption, same hours.
You make that before the motion.
I put that the motion.
I got a question.
Wait a minute. We have a motion and a second. Now, discussion. Larry?
You might understand that right now you can go to the, let's just take a bar in my district, the Roadhouse, and buy beer during those hours and take it away.
Oh, you can do that on Sunday afternoon.
On Sunday at this time.
Yes.
then this new ordinance would be that you could go there and buy beer and take it away, or buy beer and drink it on premises
Correct.
during those hours on Sunday.
That's right. It's on and off-premise consumption.
That's for your local.
What's like Stewart County and Humphreys County, what's their?
I have no idea. I don't know what to do.
Humphreys County.
You can't drink in a bar.
We're the only one.
Joe?
That's for like, restaurant around in town.
It'd be for anyone that has a beer license outside of the county. Yeah, we have no jurisdictions over the city of Tennessee Ridge or city of Erin. They have their own beer boards. Any other discussion?
Yeah, everybody on this board wants money to pay for things. And in the long run, this is a help to get more taxes in. More taxes from out of town, more taxes, because a lot of the people that are in our county and a lot of the people that come to our county don't spend the money they could if we don't have it. And new businesses, whether it be for this or ancillary businesses, are in the long run, we're not getting any new business. Part of it's because of this. We need to pass this ordinance.
Any other discussion? If not, roll call vote.
William Macy. George Sheeran.
Yes.
Randall French. Steve Hall.
Yes.
Ray Elliott.
Yes.
Martha Greenfield.
No.
Darrell Kingsville. Howard Spurgeon.
No.
Leslie Lewis. Chris Self. Joey Bright. James Pizzell. Brant Lamassus.
No.
Larry Sykes.
No.
Motion failed.
Motion failed. Highway Department copy machine agreement. This is a standard copy machine agreement that Highway Department has. I'd like a motion to approve their copy machine agreement. Motion is made. Is there a second?
Second.
And seconded. Any discussion? If not, all in favor? Opposed? Motion does carry. Your master intergovernmental cooperative purchasing agreement. This allows the Highway Department to buy a piece of equipment that's already been bid out by a large group. I'd like a motion to approve this.
So moved.
Is there a second? And second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor? Opposed? Motion does carry. Next is asking to purchase a Caterpillar 2620 piece of equipment. I'd like a motion. This has already gone to the Highway Commission and they've approved it. As chairman, I'll tell you the board recommended to buy it, so that's approved. I'd like a motion to approve the purchase of this Caterpillar.
I don't know who made it.
Who made the motion? Randall. Is there a second?
Second.
And second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
They're trading something in for this part, right?
What?
Are they trading something in for part of this cost as well? It's not like
He's trading a used Bobcat in.
Yeah. Okay.
And he's taking money out of his budget to pay for the rest of it.
Yeah.
He's not financing any of it.
All right. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor? Opposed? Motion does carry. Budget amendments and transfers under the general fund. You've got 2 pages of them. Gentlemen, do you have any questions? If not, I'd like a motion to approve the budget amendments and transfers under the general fund.
Mr. Green.
Motion is made. Is there a second? And seconded. Any discussion? If not, all in favor? Opposed? Motion does carry. Next, you have your Highway Department budget amendment and transfers. I'd like a motion to approve the Highway Department budget amendments and transfers.
So moved.
Motion is made. Is there a second? And second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor? Opposed? Motion does carry. Next, you have your debt service budget amendment in regards to it. I'd like a motion to approve this one. Motion is made. Is there a second? And second, any discussion? If not, all in favor? Opposed? Motion does carry. You have your quarterly reports from your trustee, your highway department, and your schools. I'd like a motion to approve the quarterly reports from each of these departments. Motion is made. Is there a second? And second, any discussion? If not, all in favor? Opposed? Motion does carry. With that, I'd like a motion to adjourn. Motion is made. Is there a second? And second, all in favor? Opposed? We stand adjourned. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.